I want to talk to you about gratitude today. Gratitude is one of those things that just leads to a happier life. And I wanted you to know that. It took me a long time to figure that out. I remember when I was little, my mom had this bumper sticker that said, "See the good and praise it," or "Seek the good and praise it." I believe that's what it was. And it was all about looking for the good in our lives and praising it and thanking it and being aware of it. And just having that awareness of what's good in your life helps you to not only be happier, but it's also telling the universe, yes, please, more of that, which is really important. You want to, what you focus on expands. So you want to make sure you're giving gratitude and focusing on the good in your life. And then it expands and you get more and more of that good stuff. I wrote about this in my book and I was going to share that with you briefly. So this is my book. It's called Be the Dolphin, How to Live a Heart-Centered Life. And I wanted to share with you a quote from here about gratitude. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. Henry Ward Beecher. And there's a whole chapter here about how to practice gratitude. And the thing I want to say about that is, as I was raising my son, I would notice myself getting cranky. And that's my word for it. When you've just had enough as a parent, like, oh my gosh, this is just crazy. And you just are at your wit's end and you know you're not being the best parent that you can possibly be. This is when I would invoke gratitude and meditation, for that matter, because I use both of those as tools for when I get cranky. And I remember my 6-year-old son looking at me and like, "Mom, you're cranky. You need to go meditate or something." And I was like, "You're right. You're right." He could tell. And it's nice when you have people in your life who can call you out in a nice way about what you need, because sometimes we don't always recognize it for ourselves. So I would go off for 10 minutes and focus on what I'm grateful for, or do a meditation, which is also just about realigning yourself. And boom, 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 I'm back. I'm back to being the parent that I wanted to be. Now, gratitude, it's the fastest way out of crankiness and anger that I know of. It's the best tool, especially for parents. You don't have time always to go meditate, but if you can think of 3 things that you're grateful for in the moment, it can take you just that little bit off, back to yourself and back to who you are. Especially when dealing with kids, if you can think of 3 things you're grateful for about your kid, huge. It's huge. And if you can't think of 3 things you're grateful for with your kid, then maybe you need a break. And that's totally okay. Totally okay. But go take a break and then come back and be the parent that you know you can be. So gratitude is that number 1 mood changer that I have found in my own life that I want you to know about so that you can live a happier life. I wrote this book in 2016, and then later I found out about positive psychology, which is a new area of psychology. It's not that new anymore. I think it started 20 years ago. And the founders of the positive psychology academic field were Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, and I know I messed up his name, but he wrote a book about flow. And then Dr. Martin Seligman, who is out of the University of Pennsylvania. And his book I have right here. And his book is called Flourish. And it's amazing. He's written several books. And I loved learning about the positive psychology movement because guess what? Gratitude's one of the biggest things you can do to help boost your well-being and your happiness. And so I just wanted to read this briefly from chapter 2, Creating Your Happiness. Gratitude can make your life happier and more satisfying. When we feel gratitude, we benefit from the pleasant memory of a positive event in our life. Also, when we express our gratitude to others, we strengthen our relationship with them. And what could be better than that? So that's what I wanted to say about gratitude. I hope you will try it. Now, here's a couple things you can do. You can start a gratitude journal. That you've heard other people talking about that, I'm sure. I had a friend who did it for a year, and he said it totally changed his life, helped him focus on the good things in life. So that could be a good practice where you just have a journal and you write down 3 things you're grateful for every day. Like maybe you choose right before you go to bed or after dinner or whenever you have a moment to write down 3 things you're grateful for. Another one that I really, really like is if you're sitting around at dinner, and let's say, if you have small kids at home or big kids at home, share one thing you're grateful for in your day. That's a really nice thing. Or as you're putting your child to bed, ask him one thing that he's grateful for about his day and have him go to sleep thinking about what he's grateful for. And then as a caveat to that, it's a really nice way to fall asleep. And each night, you could even take a Post-it note and put it by your bed. It says gratitude. And think about what you're grateful for as you're falling asleep. It's such a pleasant thing to fall asleep to, with thoughts of what you're grateful for. And then I usually have great dreams. If I do that, that's a pretty good way to ensure a good night's sleep. And calling to the universe with more of what you want in your life by focusing on what you're grateful for. So try that and comment back. If you want to see more of these videos, click subscribe.